All right. Let's see. What else was it that I needed to do? Get my drink over here.
I'm hoping that my two sons are gonna
Or
sleep.
behave tonight.
Yeah,
um,
I fed them. I gave them attention. Sometimes it's never enough.
oh yeah, there's one more thing I want to send to you. Um, so we will get started shortly. Actually, I could just have you pull that up. I don't need to send that to you. Um, so I guess let's go on ahead and get started. Apologies about running a little bit late for anybody who is catching this live. For those who are not catching this live, my apologies for you having to wait through the first couple of minutes. But tonight's topic, this came up because of a friend of mine that I know who he was inquiring about it, and so I figured this is a good lesson to go into, to discuss because um, it's not often that people talk about it. Oddly, in the people of faith, I typically hear people coming from more like the biblical archaeology side who are mostly talking about this, or the History Channel, or I can even throw out in pop culture a movie that was pretty popular when I was growing up. Um, what was it? Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. The Ark of the Covenant the main was the main focus that they were trying to get to. We could go. I mean, we don't have to go into the whole ins and outs to why and everything, but we'll go more into that. But first off, I guess let's go on ahead and get this show started right. Um, Jose, will you salute us in, sir?
Hello, Yahweh, Ba'Shem Mashiach Yahweh Shai. That is all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. Greetings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. It's been a while since we've had a video, but as we said before, we want to prioritize quality over quantity.
And plus, I think that we also are students as well, though we may have more knowledge on some things than others. All of us should always still be students. So we want to be able to give you guys quality stuff, and also as you something that's edifying, not just up here because we feel like we're so wise or anything like that. We're gonna try to teach on the stuff which is put upon our heart, and if there's correction, we always stand open for correction. At the end of the day, it's about giving the Most High the glory and doing our best to be able to pass out the information that we feel that He's imparted upon us for others who need to learn. So, the topic, the art of the covenant. Um, I figure it's before we even get into the location of the Ark of the Covenant, which that's what sparked me to do this lesson tonight. Let's get to the basics of what is the Ark of the Covenant. Jose, you have Exodus 25.
Yes, sirree.
And I want you to start at 17.
Okay. Exodus 25 and verse 17. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold. Of beaten work shalt thou make them, the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings on high, covering the mercy seat with their wings. And their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee, from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony of all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. Thou shalt also make a table.
No. Continue.
Verse 23. Thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit the breadth thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make thereto a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt make unto it a border of a hand breadth round about. And thou shalt make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. And thou shalt make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners that are on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings be for places of the staves to bear the table. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and the spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and bowls thereof, to cover withal. Of pure gold shalt thou make them. And thou shalt set upon the table shewbread before me always. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work shall the candlestick be made. His shaft and his branches, and his bowls, his nuts, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the candlestick out of the one side, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knot and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knot and a flower. So in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knops and with their flowers. And there shall be a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the candlestick. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same. All this shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof. And they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. And the tongues thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof shall be of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it with all these vessels. And look that thou make them after the pattern which was showed thee in the mount.
Now, that's a description of what it should be made of, what it should look like, and the different items that will accompany it. Now, let's go into, obviously, so for those who didn't catch all of that, let's go back and let's look at this piece by piece. You shall make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2.5 cubits shall be the length, and a cubit and a half is the width. So, size wise, we're talking about something that's roughly a couple of feet long, probably like about a foot and a half high or whatever. So, this is basically like a trunk. The shittim wood is a very, very, very strong, durable wood. Now, a lot of times when people focus on this, they just focus on um, trying to figure out the location of the ark, not what necessarily the purpose of the ark was. Um, some people try to think about the contents of it. I think more like the Indiana Jones type, the whole treasure hunter kind of mentality. Not that they necessarily want the treasure to try to sell it or do anything like that, but I think more or less just the fame of being the person to be able to find it. And there's also prophecies that go along with it. Now, something that's not often focused on is
Oh, dang. Marcus, you might have frozen out. Uh, yeah. Yep. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. Yeah, I wasn't sure where he was going to be going with that. So, just waiting on him, on Marcus to get back over here.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I guess I have to come in on my phone. All of a sudden, my internet just completely went out, and it's trying to reboot. So, what was the last thing you were able to hear that I said?
That the Ark of the Covenant is tied to biblical prophecy.
Okay. Ark of the Covenant is tied to biblical prophecy. Cool. So let me, I guess, try to sing you over something. So Ark of the Covenant, the prophecy that it's tied to in particular, since a lot of Christians love to just focus on revelations for prophecy, let's go there first. So I want you to pull up Revelation. Oh, what is it? What's it? Trying to remember where was that at in the. It's like, is it 19? No, 11. Revelations 11 and 19.
Book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 19. And the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail.
All right. So right there, when it tells you the Ark of His Testament, in other translations, it comes up also the Ark of the Covenant. Now, when it talks about heaven, where is heaven at? That's what we have to focus on. What do they mean by in heaven? Where is heaven? Well, there are 3 different definitions for heaven. Could you pull up the definition of heaven in the blue letter?
Okay. All right. Sharing the screen. Do you see it?
You probably won't be able to share the screen because I don't have access from my phone.
Oh.
I don't know. It may hold on. It may let me come back in. I'm gonna go out real quick and then try to come back in.
All right. So the Strong's for the word heaven is H8064, H8064. And the definition reads, according to Blue Letter Bible, heaven, heavens, plural, the sky, visible heavens, sky, as abode of the stars, as the visible universe, the sky, atmosphere, or heaven as the abode of God.
Sometimes you can't trust the damn blue letter, can you?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't trust the blue letter. If you see Vicky, hello, I am listening on my way home from work. Curious to hear your thoughts on this. I'm trying to think of. Hold on a second. Hold on one second. So I need trying to remember the Lord's Prayer.
Was that Matthew 6?
Because right here you bring up the Lord's Prayer. By those definitions, it's going to trip you up just a little bit.
Okay, So we turn to the Greek. Okay, so in the Greek, that's G3772. And it reads, the vaulted expanse of the sky with all things visible in it, the universe, the world, the aerial heavens or sky, the region where the clouds and the tempests gather and where thunder and lightning are produced.
No. I wanted you to read the Lord's Prayer.
Oh, whoops.
Yeah. Because that's what I'm saying. When you read the Lord's Prayer, all of those definitions, I'm not saying those definitions are wrong, but where I'm saying it's flawed is it's missing something.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Matthew 6:9. After this manner, therefore pray ye, Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven.
So therefore, if the kingdom that's to come is on earth, that's telling you that where you will be is you will be on earth. His will be done on earth, turning the earth eventually into a heaven. The kingdom of heaven will be in the land of Israel. That's where it will be. So that's when I'm talking about thy kingdom come. The kingdom will be on earth. And therefore you will have the ark there also to give those supplications back and forth from God, because the Ark of the Covenant is where the Most High would be able to speak back and forth to the children of Israel, in particular, the sons of Aaron. So I wanted you to bring up Deuteronomy. What is it? Deuteronomy 31. Deuteronomy 31, so we can get what's actually in the no. Sorry, scratch that. Give me sorry to bounce you around. Give me Hebrews 9.
Okay.
So we could, because it'll dovetail off of what I just talked about the Most High and the connection of the Ark of the Covenant with the Most High, because it talks about how you that connection of seeing it there, it being in the kingdom, it being amongst the Levites, in particular, of Aaron's seeds, having that connection directly with the Most High.
All right.
So
Hebrews 9.
It just start at 1.
Okay. Hebrews 9:1. Then verily the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary. For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick and the table.
So hold on. Let's slow down a little bit. So go back and read that again. An earthly sanctuary. I mean, or worldly sanctuary. I mean,
Hebrews 9:1. Then verily the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary.
continue, keep going.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick and the table and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary.
And that's the same part. This is going into the same thing that you were reading about, just another iteration of it from Exodus 25. But continue.
Verse 3. And after the second veil, the tabernacle which is called holiest of all, which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna and the
hold on. So it has the golden pot that had manna. Why is manna significant? Well, think about it. In Exodus, when he's given the instructions for the Israelite to make the Ark of the Covenant, where were the Israelites at in the time of Exodus?
Sinai?
No, not yet.
Hmm.
They were
on their way to Sinai. Like they just got out of
they just got where?
Out of Egypt.
Exactly. Exodus is them just leaving out of Egypt. And while they were in the wilderness, what did he provide them while they were out in the wilderness?
Manna, bread from heaven.
He provided them manna from heaven. That's why that's significant. One of the things to put in there in the Ark of the Covenant. So that can be that reminder of their exodus from captivity. That's one reminder. Okay, continue. So what else is in there?
Verse 4, which had the golden censer and the Ark of the Covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aaron's rod that budded.
Mm-hmm. Aaron's rod is in there also that budded. Continue.
And the tables of the covenant.
The tables of the covenant, or in other translations, tablets of the covenant. What are those tablets that are in there?
The stones Moses brought with him from the mount in Sinai.
Mm-hmm. Those are those same ones which, when Moses came down from the mount and he saw the Israelites worshiping the golden calf, he broke those stone tablets. And the reasoning why this needs to be in there also, remind the Israelites of their exodus and their salvation, being saved. Also, the commandments when they the fury that the Most High had about and granted that fury was exercised through them being thrown at them and broken, but it was to show how big of a deal the idolatry is, putting another god before the Most High. So that's the next thing in there. Aaron's staff in there because of the power that it had, in almost like a supernatural element, a little taste of God's power that was given to Aaron there. But continue.
Verse 5. And over it the cherubims of glory shadowing the mercy seats, of which we cannot now speak particularly.
Okay.
Now when these things were thus ordained, the priests went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of God. But onto the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people.
Mm-hmm.
The Holy
no, continue. Sorry.
The Holy Ghost this signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, while as the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was a figure for the time then present, in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices, that could not make him that did the service perfect, as pertaining to the conscience, which stood only in meats and drinks and diverse washings, and carnal ordinances imposed on them until the time of Reformation. But Christ, being come in high priest of good things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ashes of a heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctifieth to the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God?
Okay, that's good. But and I wanted you to kind of read that last little part extra so that it can show that the sacrificial process, the sacrificial system when it was dealing with sin sacrifices, also that blood from those sacrifices were sprinkled upon the Ark of the Covenant also. So not only did it keep these very, very important ceremonial and divine relics of the Israelites that have been passed down generationally that were kept in here for safekeeping. Also, it was integral in ceremonies that the Levites were involved in, and that goes into also. It showed a little bit of the different roles even within Levites, that there are certain roles of a high priest and people who actually go into the tabernacle, and then there's even another one that I want to go into about the dangers of improperly handling the Ark of the Covenant, because this this goes into some of the theories on the location and things like that, because if only certain people can handle this, then that helps eliminate some of those locations which people claim that they're in. So oh yeah, that's right. Before that, I wanted you to go to Deuteronomy 31. So that way we can just hammer down again about the command of the duties of the Ark of the Covenant being held with the Levites.
Okay. Deuteronomy 31 and
You can start at like 23, 24.
okay. Deuteronomy 31 and 23. And he gave Joshua the son of Nun a charge, and said, Be strong and of a good courage, for thou shalt bring the children of Israel into the land which I swear unto them, and I will be with thee. And it came to pass, when Moses had made an end of writing the words of this law in a book, until they were finished, that Moses commanded the Levites which bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, saying, Take this book of the law, and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of the Lord your God, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I am yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against the Lord, and how much more after my death? Yeah,
And so
yeah.
So right there, he's letting you know part of putting the commandments there with the Ark of the Covenant is because he knows the Israelites are stubborn, they're hard-hearted, they don't listen. He knows that it's only a matter of time before they're going to start doing things that they're not supposed to do, and having the Most High upset with them all over again. And you can go all through Deuteronomy. There's a Deuteronomy 10. There's a couple of other spots in Deuteronomy also that will go into just witness after witness that this is a duty of the Levites. Oh yeah, and I was talking about improperly handling of the ark. What are some of the things that can happen with it? So let's go to 2 Samuel chapter 6.
Okay. 2 Samuel.
And you could just read like 6 to 11.
Okay. Second Samuel 6 and verse 6. And when they came to Nachon's threshing floor, Uzzah put forth his hand to the ark of God and took hold of it, for the oxen shook it. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah.
So we can explain what's happening here is the ox stumbled a little bit while carrying this. And so they're all carrying it. So to give you a visual, they're kind of holding it by poles, and there's an oxen, and part of it is wedged on the back of the oxen to help hold the other side. And a couple of them are holding poles standing on the side. When the ox stumbles, puts his hand on it to try to stable it. So continue.
Verse 7. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error, and there he died by the ark of God. And David was displeased, because the Lord had made a breach upon Uzzah. And he called the name of the place Perez Uzzah to this day. And David was afraid of the Lord that day, and said, How shall the ark of the Lord come to me? So David would not remove the ark of the Lord unto him into the city of David. But David carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite. And the ark of the Lord continued in the house of Obed-Edom, the Gittite, 3 months. And the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and all his household.
And this is why I wanted to pull up this part right here. The Gittite is letting you know that, and I'm not sure. I got to look up what exactly a Gittite is. I don't know why I've always read that and just never thought about it. What is a Gittite exactly? Is a Gittite an Israelite? See, I'm going to look this up real quick on the spot, so just bear with me. But the main point why I wanted us to keep going into that is the whole point of wherever the Ark of the Covenant is at, it tends to give blessings. Let's see. Gittite. Did I spell that right? No, I didn't spell that right.
Gittite.
Gittites in the Bible. So these are, okay, that's right. These are Philistines. These are definitely not Israelites. These are Philistines. So it's letting you know, even when it resides outside of the Israelites, wherever it resides, it's going to be blessing those people. Now, I'm pretty sure that also it's not just a blanket pass. Like you could be doing a whole bunch of wicked stuff and you're still going to be okay. I'm pretty sure that there will be curses upon you still if you're doing things improper. But I wanted to establish that part, that the Ark of the Covenant not only is for sacrament and sacrifice, not only that it's a holder for the most prized and precious relics of the Israelites, but also the Ark itself brings blessing. So wherever it would be, those people, if it's in possession, if people have it in their possession somehow, some shape, some form, there would be blessings that will come upon that. Let's see, what else did I have in my notes? What else do I got? Oh, and if you have any precepts anytime, anywhere you want to go with it, you can definitely weigh in. What did I want to go to from here? Let's see. How are we doing? And if anybody has any questions who are listening live, definitely pipe in with your questions. What was it? Oh, that's right. I wanted to bring up about the Philistines. Is that in Samuel? Let's see. Let me see. Where's that at? I want to say it was in Samuel, but I'm drawing a blank right now. So just bear with me a sec. Yeah. 1 Samuel 4. Now, when it talked about the Philistines, and the Philistines, which Philistines, Canaanites, these are the same people. These are some of the people which were looked at as from God, some of the people which he despised the most. And which is kind of ironic to me. I hear people who are saying, "Yes, yes, I'm ancient Canaanite." I'm like, you, so you're basically saying that God hates you. But anyway, but my point is, let's go ahead and read this. 1 Samuel 4, and you can go ahead and start from the top just for context.
1 Samuel 4 and 1. And the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle and pitched beside Ebenezer. And the Philistines pitched in Athak. And the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel. And when they joined battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines.
So right here, this is saying that Israel was going out to battle against the Philistines. In this battle, they lost pretty badly. But let's keep on listening to the story because things can change. Continue.
Verse 2. And they slew of the army in the field about 4,000 men. And when the people were come into the camp, the elders of Israel said, Wherefore hath the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh unto us. And
so they're going to go get the ark of the covenant. Continue.
That when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of our enemies. So the people sent to Shiloh, that they might bring from thence the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there, with the ark of the covenant of God. And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, all Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again. And when the Philistines heard the noise of the shout, they said, What meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp of the Hebrews? And they understood that the ark of the Lord was come into the camp.
So this is right now. So a little recap. They hear this uproar over there in the camp, and they're like, keep in mind, you just severely beat up on them. And when we say beat up, no, this isn't a fist fight. Like many Israelites had died. Like this is war, and it's looking pretty bad for them. And a lot of times in those days, war typically meant loss of land, possible enslavement, all kind of things. Rape, robbery, murder, the whole list. And so this is a very perilous time. So they go and get the ark, they bring it there, and it lifts the spirits of the Israelites because they know the blessing that it puts upon them. And it blesses you in many different ways that we can't even imagine. This isn't obviously because they're bringing it to battle. This isn't just monetary. This is blessings more than likely within health, within combat, within wisdom, within so many different ways how this can help you. Continue.
Verse 7. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, God is come into the camp. And they said, Woe unto us, for there hath not been such a thing heretofore. Woe unto us, who shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods? These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. Be strong and quit yourselves like men, O ye Philistines, that ye be not servants unto the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Quit yourselves like men and fight. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, and they fled every man into his tent. And there was a very great slaughter, for there fell of Israel 30,000 footmen. And the ark of God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. And there rang a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent, and with earth upon his head. And when he came, lo, Eli sat upon a seat by the wayside, watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of God. And when the man came into the city and told it, all the city cried out. And when Eli heard the noise of the crying, he said, What meaneth the noise of this tumult? And the man came in hastily and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were dim that he could not see. And the man said unto Eli, I am he that came out of the army, and I fled today out of the army. And he said, What is there done, my son? And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there have been also a great slaughter among the people.
So let's get a little recap. What's going on right now? Israelites were losing. They bring the Ark of the Covenant. They're pumped up. They're happy. They feel like we have the Ark. We're about to be blessed, because that's typically what it does. But in this case, that's not what happens. Not only do they continue to lose, they're forced to retreat, and they lose the Ark of the Covenant. Now, I don't want. Let's see. I'll say this, and then I'll let you keep going. This shows that the Ark can be handled by other people. Now, I'm pretty sure that they more than likely have Israelites who are handling this. That's how they're able to move it. But it is able to go into possession of somebody who's not Israelites. But let us continue. What else is going to happen in this story?
1 Samuel 4:17. And the messenger answered and said, Israel is fled before the Philistines, and there have been also a great slaughter among the people. And thy 2 sons also, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of God is taken. And it came to pass, when he had made mention of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck brake, and he died. For he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel 40 years. And his daughter-in-law, Phinehas' wife, was with child near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of God was taken, and that her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and travailed, for her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the women that stood by her said unto her, Fear not, for thou hast borne a son.
All right, so we so we see what's happened. They got all pumped up. They were, and it's befallen them all kinds of just horrors, right? Let's skip ahead. 1 Samuel 6.
1 Samuel 6:1. And the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistines 7 months. And the Philistines called for the priests and the diviners, saying, What shall we do to the ark of the Lord? Tell us wherewith we shall send it to his place. And they said, If ye send away the ark of the God of Israel.
Actually, sorry. Go back. I skipped ahead. I want 5. 5 and no, not from the top.
Okay.
I want the end of 5. What was it? Let me see. Go down to what? Oh yeah. Go, yeah, you can start from the top. 5 and 1. I don't want to, because I don't want to have to read too much. Because this, but okay, that's what we'll do. For context, we'll read the first 3.
1 Samuel 5:1. And the Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer unto Ashdod. When the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon.
No, hold on. No, hold on. They took it into the house of who?
Dagon.
Now, for those people don't realize, Dagon or Dagon, either way you want to pronounce it, is a Canaanite god. He's actually, let's see if I can bring up an image of him. Hopefully it won't kick me out. This is the god that the Canaanites or the Philistines worshipped. Dang it, I had a feeling it's going to do that. Come on, be good. Okay, didn't kick me out. Let's see, it didn't kick me out. All right. So let me share my screen quickly. This is Dagon. Oh, come on. Share. All right. You see this? Dagon. It's fish god.
Fish.
Now, and I guess this kind of jumped ahead of where I wanted it to go, but you see this right here?
Mm-hmm.
That when they put the Ark of the Covenant there next to the statue of their God, it caused it to be destroyed. Now, hold on a second. You see this? Looks pretty similar, right?
Yeah.
Just I always just wanted to put that out there. Even to the little, like, right there, it almost looks like an eye, like a fish mouth.
Yep.
Celebrating Dagon. Now, I brought that up for multiple reasons. Now, we gave you a bunch of your vegetables up front. Jose, can you pull up a video for the time being so we can kind of get the context of where they say the Ark of the Covenant is? Pull up which one do I want you to show first? The first video, Ethiopian church.
Okay.
Now, a lot of archaeologists or biblical archaeologists and a lot of people say the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia.
Ready?
Yep, ready.
Right there is the church that claims to hold the original Ark of the Covenant. This is the building where the Ethiopian Ark of the Covenant is kept. We wanted to enter the complex, but we were told that no one gets to go beyond the blue gates. However, we were friendly, and then they allowed us to go in. We found evidence here that these churches were built on an ancient site, for the relics of the Ascumite Empire were buried everywhere. Then we saw the church where the Ark is located. Just behind these gates, the Ethiopian Ark of the Covenant is stored. Just behind me is the church where they say the Ark of the Covenant is kept, just there. But no one is allowed in, and the priest protecting the ark is forbidden to leave. His destiny is to die behind these gates. He is both the guardian of the ark and its prisoner. Is this the last resting place, the Ark of the Covenant? Well, for the people who have been here for so long, for the Orthodox Christians, they truly believe the original Ark of the Covenant is there. Once again,
No, that's good.
close to the Ark, but not.
Now, why did he say original Ark of the Covenant? Did you catch that?
Just copies?
Because there's copies. And what a lot of people don't realize is there's over 400 replicas of the Ark of the Covenant.
Sheesh.
Now, according to Ethiopian tradition, you're going to find this a little interesting. Where, at what point do you think that they claim to have gotten the Ark of the Covenant? Do you have any ideas? Well,
No.
have you not heard of how the Ethiopians believe that they are Israelites?
There's a prophecy that begs to differ.
I know, but according to their beliefs, and this goes into beliefs of Rastafarians also, how many of them held up Haile Selassie as believing that he was the return of Christ on the earth, the Messiah, Hamashiach. It's because they believe that the Ethiopians are the line of the Solomonic dynasty. And they believe that because they believe that when Solomon met the Queen of Sheba, that at that point he impregnated her. Which, nice theory, but it's nowhere in the Bible says that at all. But this all hinges on not only that she was impregnated by King Solomon, and so she brought back a baby, but it's also, they believe, that he gave her the Ark of the Covenant also to take to Ethiopia.
Why? What? That makes no sense.
Yeah. Because at that time period, when they claim, the covenant was not gone yet. In fact, how far after Solomon was Jeremiah born?
How far what?
How far after Solomon was Jeremiah? You don't have to give an exact, just ballpark.
I want to say 100, maybe 200 years.
I would say possibly more. But we're talking about Solomon, which is, I want to say, possibly around, let's see, about 1300 BC or something like that. Because think Solomon is before, well, it's right after the kingdoms split. Well, no, wait a minute. The kingdom splits after his kids. I mean, with his kids, that's when it splits.
Mm-hmm.
When the kingdom splits, that's when the northern kingdom is taken away for good. After that time period. So that means Solomon is before the Assyrian captivity. He's before the Babylonian captivity. He's before the Medes. I think Jeremiah is during what time period?
Right before the Babylonians invaded.
Right before the Babylonians invaded. So we're talking about, I want to say, possibly a good maybe 100. You're right, maybe about 150 to maybe 200 years. Jeremiah is the last time that is actually talked about the Ark of the Covenant. So hundreds of years after Solomon has died, the Ark of the Covenant is still in Israel. So therefore, it debunks the whole theory of Queen of Sheba taking the Ark of the Covenant back to Ethiopia. So that X's that out. Now, do I believe that later on down the road that there were replicas made and they are holding on to a replica and they possibly even maybe believe it's the real Ark of the Covenant? But I would say no to that. Some people also believe that Jeremiah, well, it talks about that Jeremiah hid the Ark of the Covenant. So, did you want to pull that up? Let's pull it up. Jeremiah. Let's see. Because, I mean, let's see what it talks about it in Chronicle. It talks about the Ark in Chronicles. And let's see. What does it say? I think in Jeremiah, what? Get to my notes. Jeremiah chapter 3. Let's start at what? Let's see. Let me see. I got to look it up. But I got Jeremiah chapter 3, and I got this one verse. But hold on, let me look for this real quick. I have to look for it. I don't remember it off the top of my head. Apologies.
16.
I'm
looking at it. When the Ark is mentioned, it's verse 16.
No, but that's not the one I want, though.
Oh, okay.
Hid the Ark of the Covenant is in the Maccabees. 2nd Maccabees 2. That's what I need.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm. So this is the last time where it's talked about.
2nd Maccabees chapter 2. And verse. Oh, huh. Okay. Wow.
So let's see where this, because this right here is definitive, and we know that this is definitely after that time period. So it did not go to Ethiopia when a lot of people who believe that it left to Ethiopia with Sheba. So let's read 2nd Maccabees.
Sorry. 2nd Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 4. It was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of God, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him, and he went forth into the mountain where Moses climbed up and saw the heritage of God. And when Jeremy came thither, he found a hollow cave wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door. And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it. Which when Jeremy perceived, he blamed them, saying, As for that place, it shall be unknown until the time that God gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy. Then shall the Lord show them these things, and the glory of the Lord shall appear, and the cloud also as it was showed under Moses, and as when Solomon desired that the place might be honorably sanctified.
Now, I believe what happened at this time period, the real ark was hidden. But this is when the replicas started being made. Now, can you pull up the Arch of Titus? Because a strong argument one could say is it's in the Vatican. The Vatican has a lot of wealth. Remember, we talked about the blessings. But do you think that they could have held it? And for those who would say, well, why would you say the Vatican? Why is that even a possibility? Well, Rome went into Israel. Well, Israel was a vassal state to Rome for a very long time. And for many people who know about the so-called New Testament, Christ is living there in Israel while it is a vassal state. At that time, that's the reason why he's giving up to, Pontius Pilate and the Romans for his execution, because it is a vassal state. Now, in 70 AD, when everything was destroyed, not a stone left on top of each other, everything was taken out. Gold, all these different things were taken out. Now, let's add this to the stage so it can show. This is the Arch of Titus, which is in Rome. Can you pull up the picture and get close? When you look at this picture, this is a show of all of the things that were taken out. Not all of them, but this is kind of to kind of symbolize is this the right one?
Isn't it called like a relief?
Let me see. I mean, this is actually like on the streets. You can actually walk up and see it. Maybe this might be the wrong side. Type in, put in Arch of Titus menorah.
That one.
There you go. Yeah, this one. And they got to zoom in really close because this thing, like, it's like not like right there. It's actually quite up in the air. Now let's look at this picture closely, and this is why now you see how big it is. See, this is flipped on the other side from what you were showing before. If you look at it, you see they have a menorah there, but before the menorah, look what's before it. You see a box. Can you make that bigger?
This one, where the cursor is at. This.
I can't see. I'm talking about, like, can you zoom in on that picture?
Yeah, it's zoomed in now.
Oh, let's see if I can find another one.
Because there's a box shape in front of the menorah and behind it.
You see?
Oh. Let me see. Wow, how is it not like? Because I put the image in a new tab, and it should be. Oh wait, never mind. Whoops.
Oh, it didn't. You have to switch the
Give me one second.
You have to add the other one to the screen.
My bad. Whoopsie. Here. So
there we go.
Sorry about
yes. That. Now, some believe that this is the one that's behind that might just be that might just be like cases where there's gold and things like that. But this one where you see the trumpets, or some could say they might be shofars, or maybe they're some kind of they're using these as handles to carry something. Many people have cited that they believe that there is a possibility that
Oh,
that
this thing, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't believe that's it. You know why? Now, the arguments that have been made is that you see the two things that are up there, that they're saying that maybe over time that the cherubims have kind of, you see on the top there's kind of one thing on that left side, and on the other side it looks like there could have been something.
What, here in this area?
Yeah, like some people believe that, oh well, it was cherubims there and it just worn down over time.
Nah, I don't think so.
I don't buy it either. I believe these are mostly trunks of gold that were being carried away, gold and other things. And so if they got all this stuff, and it said that there was nothing left, I mean, that they pretty much went through and they took I mean, I'm trying to remember what scripture is that where it talks about them burning the temple. And when they burned the temple, the gold that was coming down, that they literally dug up the stones to get the fissures of gold that came down. You never read that one? I'm trying to remember where that was at.
The only thing that comes to mind with the temple being burned is Jeremiah 52.
Let me see. So when it talks about the temple being completely stone, see Matthew 24. And this tells you that the full total destruction of the temple. This is the reason why, if you hear about them talk about the Wailing Wall in Israel, this is supposed to be a wall that's left over. Well, if that's a wall that's left over of supposedly Solomon's temple, then then that contradicts this verse. So can you read Matthew 24?
1 sec.
Mm-hmm.
And what?
You can just start at the top.
All right.
Read down to about maybe 5.
Matthew 24:1. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another, there shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them,
Actually, that's good there. That's good there. But the point that I wanted to emphasize is on 2. It says, and Jesus said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So that's telling you that there's no way that there will be a wall left of the temple. Basically telling you that either the scripture is wrong or the Wailing Wall is not the actual Wailing Wall. But let's go back to what we read in 2nd Maccabees. Well, what did it say there? It said that he took it and he hid it. And he hid it in a cave near Sinai, right? Now, here's the thing. Where does everybody say Sinai is now? And where does the evidence show Sinai is?
I forgot.
Let's see. So just pull up, just pull it up and see. Google where is Mount Sinai. Don't put the real Mount Sinai. Just put where is Mount Sinai. Yipper says Egypt, which that's a good guess. It's not a bad guess, but it couldn't be in Egypt because they were Exodus. They're fleeing from Egypt. It's not Sinai, Sinai.
Oh. Well, here's what Wiki's saying.
Now, what does Wiki say?
On the Sinai Peninsula of Egypt.
Sinai Peninsula of Egypt. Right. Okay. That's where they say it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, go ahead. Show a picture of it. Let's check it out. Let's see what they say. Which one of these days I might do a class on this because I remember I tried to show parts of the video and they were not
having it.
They were not having it. They shut down that stream.
I remember.
Mm-hmm. So that's where it's supposed to be. And that says 447 kilometers from the greater Cairo area, south central of the Sinai Peninsula. So can you pull this up on a map, actually? Let's pull this up on a map. Let's see where it's supposed to be.
That doesn't. Oh. Here. Whoops. That doesn't help at all.
So that no, you're right. There it is. It's supposed to be that little point down there at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it's supposed to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, drop that down real quick. And I'm going to share my screen. Jabal Al-Lawz, Saudi Arabia. And what you see here, burnt mountaintop, the split rock, the rock of Harub. See that where the water is supposed to have split and came down. Let's go back. What else was there? Here, they could show you the golden calf. Supposed to be a golden calf there, which there are no calves in this region. This is completely blocked off, and you cannot go to it.
No.
Let's see. Does it have the?
Give me a sec. Beer back.
All right. Let's see where else. What did I want to find? Not those. But oh crap, that's what it was. Jabal Al-Lawz altar. This is where I believe it actually was. This area, Jabal Al-Lawz, Saudi Arabia. You saw, and if you go through, let me see, 70. palms. The area with all the palms. Oh, there it is. See it? All the things that it describes in the Bible, you're able to find them here in this area. Down to the burnt mountaintop.
It's weird how they try to throw you off from the actual location.
Mm-hmm. And you are not allowed to go there at all. Yes. Question. Oh, Yipper asked, the Middle East, part of Africa. I've heard that the tectonic plates, Israel's tectonic plates, touch Africa. Is it called the Middle East because of Europe? Yes, of course it's called the Middle East because of Europe. They called that area back in that time period. They called it what was it? Asia Minor. So either it was Africa, which it wasn't Africa at that time. I mean, who knows what it was called? It was probably called all Ethiopia. It could have been called Philistia. There's many different names that the stuff that it was called at that time, because for a time period, a big chunk of all of Africa was known as Ethiopia. Then you had like some ancient names which some people recognize there in Africa. Like the name a lot of Africans that I've talked to, not all, but ones I've talked to, they like took the old term Akibalon, which that was one of the names before the Europeans came in and start slicing and dicing up the country or the continent, I mean. But yeah, let me stop sharing that. So, to recap, not in Ethiopia. We don't believe that. I believe that they have a replica there. Let me show you. No, that's a Kibalon. Let me show you the proper spelling. Key. So this is actually an old map. Now, of course, when you pull up Google, it's going to show multiple things, but this one right here, which Kush put Kemet. I don't agree with this map, so let's just not even pay attention to that. See, Akebulon. So yeah, classical African indigenous civilizations. Dang it, why won't it pop up bigger? I guess I can't pull that up bigger. But it says classical African indigenous civilizations before Asiatic or European invasion. So it shows even in this time, they called it Kush. And you see down in the south where South Africa is called San. And Nairobi does go back to an old name, Himba. But I don't want to start butchering up these names. So I'm not going to go in and try to talk. I'm not going to go in and try to name all of the stuff here. So what I would say, so the split in Iraq is inside. Yes, that is in Saudi Arabia. And it is protected by guards that speak Arabic, English, and Hebrew, and will keep you out of there. Armed guards are all over the place. And there's signs in English also. No, Yipper. But so to answer the question, where do I think the Ark of the Covenant is? I think well, I'm not gonna say you, but if anybody was to start digging around those areas of where I believe actual, and I'm not gonna say that Israel is not a real Israel. I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna say that the locations that they have, that they believe where the temples were and the Temple Mount and all those things, I believe are wrong. Do I believe all that is still Israel? Do I believe that is all still part of ancient Israel? Yes. Do I believe that's where the actual temple was? No. Because the place where I believe was the heart of old Jerusalem is, I believe that part is still mostly desolate. And I'm blanking on the name right now. So if I can remember the name, I'll throw it out there. But yeah, I would say that it is still going to be up in those caves. But if you talk to Israelis, they will tell you that they know exactly where it is. Some say that well, they believe that it is actually under the Temple Mount. So the Al-Aqsa Mosque, they believe it is up under there. And they believe when they have the Messiah, because they already have the red heifers and all that, when they believe they have their Messiah, they will go and take it out. So they will take it out, and the Ark of the Covenant, the revealing of that is supposed to be a symbolization of basically like the end of times and the Messiah returning and all that. So that's what we have on that. Hopefully that was enlightening. And I feel like the Ark of the Covenant is going to be hidden, just like the real children of Israel are hidden. And at the time when they are revealed and brought into the land, the Ark will be brought back also. So that's what I have. Jose, would you have anything you'd like to add, or anybody have any questions before we get ready to wrap it up?
No, I really thought that it might have been hidden somewhere in Ethiopia, but yeah, until logic and reasoning kind of destroyed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you just understand like when they believe they got it, that's what throws it off for me. It would make it's a more logical argument that the Vatican would have it than anybody else. Some people believe that they've been moving it around, which that's where the logic falls apart for me. I don't believe they have the ability to just move it around like that. Now, could they have had some Israelites move it there in the first place, handling it? Yes. But to be able to have it for a long period of time and it not put plagues upon your house, I don't buy that. So I don't buy that it's in the Vatican, although there's probably a lot of stuff that is sitting there hidden that they stole. I don't buy that it's in Ethiopia. I don't buy that it's in Ireland. I don't buy it's in India, none of these other places. So that, yes, people have said that it's in Ireland. So what I would say is those where Jabal Allah is, the real Mount Sinai, I believe that you will find it in the caves there. That would be the best place to search for it. Do not believe any man is in possession of it. And all of these that you're seeing that anybody talks about in these videos are all replicas. So with that said, and I see no questions in the chat, we can go on ahead and wrap it up. Jose, salute us out.
Kahala Yahweh, Bahashua Mashiach Yahushai. That is all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahushai. And with that, we say, oh, yeah, perhaps a question.
So why did the Saudis guard the rock? Because the Saudis are paid very well to guard and hide it and hide the secrets. And the Saudi people is different than Saudi leadership. I believe that the Saudis, some of them, though they might look a little bit different, go back to the same people as some of the people in Israel right now. That they're not cousins, that they are one and the same, some of them. And it is a concerted effort to hide things. Just like if you look into Iran, all Iranians are not Iranians, if that makes sense. Let's just say that they're diasporas of people who have power and who have influence. I'll leave it at that.
Also, Psalms 83, 1 through 6.
Oh, you can always read Psalms 83, Psalms 83, 1 through 6, which that tells you about the conspiracy. Which I don't know if you wanted to read it or not, you could just leave it out there for everybody. Yeah. For those who don't know, go on ahead and read Psalms 83, 1 through 6. I actually advise reading all of Psalms 83, and it'll make sense to why people who don't seem like they would be allies in hiding things, why they might be allies. On that note, we're going to get out of here. Y'all have a good night. Thank y'all for being with us. Going into this weekend, be safe. If it's your Sabbath tomorrow, Shabbat Shalom. To the Israelites out there, Shabbat Shalom. And to everybody else, y'all have a good weekend, and please be safe out there. Hopefully this was edifying and taught you all something. Thank you. Have a good night.
Shabbat Shalom, Israel.